Folks, this all-new upcoming edition of Resident Evil 3 looks like nothing but shit on the bottom of my shoe. And you fake Resident Evil fans need to wake up and smell the coffee. Luckily, you have world-class veteran video game critic Michael Does Life here today to help you see the reality of the situation. And it's incredibly sad how so many of you are looking at this supposed art, for this all-new upcoming edition of Resident Evil 3, and you're sitting there and you're saying, oh my god, Capcom, they've already hit that home run. Well, that couldn't be further from the truth, folks, because this art, the supposed art I should say, nothing's been confirmed as of this recording, it's very telling on where Capcom is ultimately taking this all-new upcoming edition of Resident Evil 3 in terms of its direction. I mean, you look at Nemesis here, and they had to throw caution tape on Nemesis because the Fortnite crowd, and that's who has infested this franchise now, because they came from Fortnite to this all-new edition of Resident Evil 2, but the Fortnite crowd, that's primarily the Resident Evil fan base, and it's incredibly sad, but they need to be aware that, hey, this guy right here, Nemesis, he's a bad guy. And Capcom was like, well, how do we convey that message clearly? Throw some caution tape on Nemesis. Like, are you guys serious? And then look at Jill, a she-male. And you guys are like, oh my god, they hit that home run. How did they hit that home run? When they clearly struck out here with this all-new edition of Resident Evil 2. I'll tell you this right here, right now, folks. I'm still waiting for the Resident Evil 2 remake. I am. And I know some of you are going to sit there and be like, oh, Michael, what are you talking about? Well, Capcom didn't remake Resident Evil 2. At least they didn't do so in a way that made sense. Instead, what we got is an all-new Resident Evil game inspired by Resident Evil 2. Instead, what we got is an all-new Resident Evil game under the guise of Resident Evil 2. And as such, this all-new edition of Resident Evil 2 is disposable, half-assed, and soulless. So to sit on here and say that I have much confidence in what I'm seeing right now as of this recording, that just isn't the case, unfortunately. We're talking about these lazy millennial devs that work at clueless Capcom that have no idea what made the original game tick. But you don't care. You never have, and you never will, because you were too busy going,